I'm making a sincere pitch. Time is not on my side right now. I have $1 trillion of intellectual property in this head, but I'm living in trauma because I'm alone in the world. There's nobody else I can trust to be smart enough to dive into the multiplicity of bioelectromagnetism. My friend, I see you with all that intelligence, and you're being misled like everyone else in all the universities. There's no more good answers in biochemistry. Incredibly great answers in bioelectromagnetism. Asking you to help me as the co-author of a series of whatever. We're going to record Zooms. I'm going to do a lot of Socratic improv. You're going to ask astute questions. Post it on YouTube. So it's very clear whose brain what came out of. And I need you to be my Watson. I'm the she Sherlock of human functioning. I am so accurately scared of dying, of lack of money, because there are no humans on this planet who care if I live or die. It's so hard for a person to handle. I'm handling it with aplomb, apart from the fact that nobody will help me. It's a lot of money here. You can do whatever you want, subscription-wise, on, blah, blah, blah. So tired of begging for pennies on the billions just to stay alive. This is absurd. The economic model that we're living under, plantation capitalism, is causing every single bit of chronic disease and evil in this world. So the situation with me is I keep doing the logic. Doing the math is about linear thinking, and it's about making things add up in the way that stuff does. Stuff is not life. The math of life, 1 + 1 = 3. This is a philosophical method tool that can help us dive into life-centric thinking. That in and of itself is billions of dollars of IP. The Khan Academy of Philosophy over here. Life-centric thinking is how we unite our whole species, one species, so that we can combat planetary problems like climate change, the ever-escalating burdens of chronic disease and mental illness, which are all the same thing. It's bioelectromagnetism. Mediated. Yes, of course, the biochemistry is the downstream backup generator. We're talking about the particle and wave complementarity of quantum physics. So many people treat me as if the words that I'm coming out of my mouth are unintelligible. Problem is, other people's attention span, focus, and their access to their memory banks, the only riches we have. Everything that is mediated by the endocannabinoid system, which optimizes bioelectromagnetism, the health of every living human on this planet is in how well they can access their memory banks. For the salience, for the dopamine, for the making a choice, for moving away from fear, it's all yes, it's all stress. Pick a source. 75 to 95% of all chronic disease is stress. What is stress? Not inflammation, that is biochemistry. What is stress? Cognitive dissonance. You're operating under a set of instructions, socialization, that doesn't make sense to your body. You're tuning off all of the messages of your body. It is body up. It is not brain down. And it is environment in and magnetism out. It's extraordinarily hard to port languaging of non-linear life-centric thinking into a person who's looking on this much of a screen and wanting to immediately click a button and be done with that notification, that intrusion is proposing. Mid-November through the end of the year. We've already run through this, already demonstrated a radical capacity to virtually alter your body, mind, and soul. Give me another chance. First off, there's nobody else I could turn to. Second off, if I'm gonna die, I don't want to take this with me. Third off, if I'm giving it out to the world via you, I'm not gonna die. Because you're perfectly okay in the ways that I'm not. And I'm not okay I am okay. I just don't have money. I don't have anyone to turn to. And this has been a problem like 12 years. People have been bioimaging this body-mind contraption the whole time. We'd have solved so much. But it is quite literally. I need money to come in for heat and food this winter. I need to get away from another toxic situation where people believe themselves to be all that. And when I show up and say, oh yeah, hey, I'll take some of that, we don't have none of that. But which I'm talking about love. And about somebody to be with me, to help me bring this to a place where there can be untold billions of revenue. And it's the right thing to do to save the species from self-extincting. You know, I say it to this person, I say it to that person. Every single one, I'm making personal, bespoke pitches. for you, I can make a guarantee. I'm making guarantees for everybody. But with you, I already proven. And I didn't know what I was doing. It takes a very long time to have a theory of everything. And that's essentially what I'm talking about. We're going to have separate lives, ultimately. But right now, the understanding of bio-electromagnetism will bring us both the single best opportunity to focus on our mental fitness, which will, in our case, very specifically, radically alter the challenges our bodies are facing. This isn't like it's the actual rules of the scientific method that are right now harming our species. The philosophical method works faster. You don't need access to billion-dollar laboratories. You don't need to have all this peer review and whatnot. Yes, that can happen later on down the road, but then you bring out all these separate pieces of data and nobody knows how to synthesize them. That's what I've done. I'm going through everything at the appropriate high level, looking for validity and looking for what keeps humans alive, not what makes money for a drug company, what gives somebody a life coach, internet influencer, business. It's the marketing manipulation of science that is going to self-extinct our species in under 30 years. This is a philosophical argument I'm making, because if we don't talk about it appropriately and urgently, everyone just off like, well, I'm working on my self-care. I'm buying things and eating things and being addicted to everything to soothe my nervous system. What optimizes the nervous system is a human being being exactly who they are. And for especially intellectual and sensitive human beings, every way this civilization is functioning makes us deny our own body, and that's these dysfunctions. I've always had a true sense deja vu of you and I standing on a stage doing a talk, a TED talk, a DEP talk, with my own. That's so much that can make money. I just can't do any of this myself. Keep looking for things to do myself, but in the process, I go back to the theory of everything, and the theory of everything is more than one human. And documenting a change in a Parkinson's person alongside an autistic person. Look, an old people's problem that now keeps getting diagnosed younger and younger, and a developmental problem that is happening to a very old woman. I didn't become autistic till I was 52.75. Always been autistic. I mean, they're getting it wrong. It's not a disease. It is hyper acuity in the sensory realm, everything. And for me, what's especially, most humans go sight, sound, touch, then smell and taste. I'm like, smell and taste. Touch doesn't exist in my life. That's the single thing we have to talk about personally. There's no way I could be any different without the touch. And it's still true. Everything. This is all about quantum physics. And the fact that if it's true, and these are valid universal laws, then they must apply to human functioning. E equals mc squared begats she. I'm not walking around the world talking about the equation he. Y'all had your charts. I'm going to talk about the equation she, sustainable human energy, equals mc cubed. This is a great paper. Please be my Watson. Obviously, this is all just negotiations, just a story. We need to talk and negotiate it. Both of our health we have to figure out how to compromise. We both have chronic diseases. One of us has absolutely no other living human being to help her. And that is now probably I'm traumatized. Traumatized by the internet. I'm traumatized. I've never hurt anybody. I never even called anybody a name. I've been loyal to everyone, and people just leave me. It's not about me. What it's about is that the socialization we go through is so illogical to me. I just would never participate in it. And then I'll be morbidly obese, so nobody's wanting to hang out with me. So I am a very undomesticated human. I'm wild, I'm free, indigenous, native, African ancestrally, and creative. I'm going to do this stand-up philosophy. Help me write up a philosophical hypothesis of bioelectromagnetism with the framework of doing what we can to extrapolate this theory of everything. It is a unifying theory of human energy, potential, and well-being, body, mind, and soul. Integrated functioning via bioelectromagnetism, not biochemistry. Harmony. Holler.